What's up, Mactown family? We are here doing something brand new. Corbin, tell them what we got going on today.
Today, we are back. Man, I don't know if this is part 4 or part 3, but it's the Chain Out podcast.
So
Back at it again.
That might sound very confusing because you're like, I've been watching this channel for a year and I've never seen a Chain Out podcast. You'd be correct. We have done 2 other podcasts throughout the last 3 years, and we've always said this is the start of like we're gonna keep doing this, and then we haven't done it.
It's the start of something. It's the same,
but this time is for real. And if you don't know me, I'm Elijah Keck. To my left, I got Blake Jones, who just muted himself. He's sick of us, dude. He's so sick of us. I'm unmuting you.
He hates talking about disc golf, dude.
Bro. Bro. Actually, mute yourself.
He can't unmute himself either.
My bad. My fault.
Oh, shoot. Blake, tell us who you are and how you're related to Trevor Staub.
Trevor Staub's my dad. No, my name is Blake. I've been playing disc golf for 6 years, 7 years. I've been a youth pastor for 5 years. But, yeah, that's all you need to know about me.
Flex on him, Blake.
Blake, who's your favorite disc golf pro?
Simon Lizotte, for sure.
Wow.
No matter what company he's at either. I think
Like,
he has the most raw talent in the world.
That's good. Yeah, he's good.
Probably true.
Corbin?
Like, how many Mactown tournaments have you won?
1, baby.
Wow.
I think. Bro, did I tell you I saw that exact trophy with the ribbon and everything in a Texas Best gas station the other day?
Yeah, I've been letting gas stations borrow my trophy.
We found
like
you
a world
dude.
Tour.
Cheap trophy.
I didn't buy it. Logan bought it. Anyways, back to the podcast. And last but not least, we have Corbino.
Corbino.
What about you? How long have you been playing? Who's your favorite player?
I've been playing for, next month, I think that's 4 years.
So he's a
COVID disc golfer, you know?
I feel like you were right before COVID.
Yeah. So maybe it has been 4 years already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just about 4 years. My favorite pro is Kyle Klein. The boy.
That's sick. He had a good tournament, man.
He did have a good tournament.
I've been playing a long time. 12 years. And it's been a good time. Been quality time playing. And my favorite pro is obviously Anthony Barella. So I've always loved him. I've always said I loved him. And
yeah.
So he's my favorite.
Has nothing to do with him. He was just winning.
He won? Oh, shoot. I didn't know that.
He's your favorite player? You didn't know he won?
Well,
where did your favorite player finish, actually?
You identify with AB?
I identify with.
Felt the same?
We're very similar, just looks wise. Yeah. So, my favorite player is actually Kevin Jones, and I don't think he was playing this weekend. So, he took the weekend off. He was there actually in the tournament, but he was not playing. Like he was just joking around. So,
oh, okay. I was like, I didn't see his name in the top 70 or something like that. I can't remember.
He was in the top 70. He was in the top 70. Everyone calm down.
I didn't see it.
Everyone
you gotta have goals. You gotta have goals.
Yeah. Anyways, hey, we are doing this podcast, the Chain Out. We're going to be doing this after every Elite Series or Major. And so some of these other ones we're not going to be doing, but we'll try our best to get one out there every Tuesday following that Elite Series tournament. And just to give you for us to talk about it, to see what our thoughts are on who won, some of the players that were involved in the drama, and then just to talk about the tournament in general, and then kind of promoting and kind of previewing what is next and making some bold predictions, which I love. And I think we'll talk a little bit about if you don't know this, which you wouldn't because we haven't said this, but we are doing a fantasy league. We each have 7 players, 2 on our bench, 5 that are active. So we'll kind of update you on that too, just to give you the update of the update. So Other than that, let's move on in to talking about this stinking tournament that just happened. The chess.com tournament. Who wants to start? Invitational, yeah. They got invited.
Did they give a like how the connection between disc golf and this chess? Like what was the connection? How did they find it?
So I watched the interview of the guy who owns chess.com. He said that he just is a huge disc golfer and he has a collection of Lunas and he wanted Paul to sign some Lunas and that's how they kind of met through that him just playing. And so he wanted to they kind of just became friends and then he wanted to sponsor this tournament. And he even said he's like, we will probably not see any profit from this. It's literally just because I like disc golf. which is funny to me. But
chess.com is actually goated though. If you're a chess guy.
It is.
Or girl.
I have a chess set right here.
Is that the trophy?
I have a chess set right next to me too.
Actually, AB sent me the trophy. I'm his number one fan. He said, if you could give this to Elijah, that'd be great.
We could talk about the trophy a little bit. I don't know what your thoughts are.
It was the worst trophy I've ever seen. It literally just a chessboard.
I thought it was cool because it's the chess.com thing. I wish they would have just done more with it. Had writing on it or something.
It's not worse than the OTB Open from a couple years ago. It was literally an MVP disc with OTB champion on it.
Well, at least you get to throw it, But the chessboard, you just get to.
You can throw the chessboard.
I think they missed the mark because they could have put a freaking king on there as the trophy, a king, like a chess piece king. That would have been so sick.
Did you see hole 18? The bottom of it was a pawn. They should have elevated it and had a king on that one and made it elevated basket.
Yeah, they had a bunch of these different pieces throughout the event, which is cool. But I'm like, I don't know. It's cool that you get a chessboard and you keep that, but I wish it would have been something like even this with just a king on top would have been so sick. Not this one specifically, nicer.
I know where they can find it. TexasBest.com.
Texas Best. I love it. Well, did you all end up watching it all live, or did you watch everything post?
I watched it all post. I haven't subscribed to DGN yet.
Hasn't subscribed to DGN. Corbin?
I watched post. Kept up with the live scores on PJ Live, but didn't watch it live. I'm feeding off Jomez and Disc Golf Pro Tour highlights afterwards.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I didn't know I had to get pro to watch this. And so I get there to watch it and I'm like, oh crap. So it's only $20
pro to get it.
Yes. So there's different levels to DGN that you have to have. And the pro one gets you multiple new different events. You can watch all of the majors. Pretty much everything that they do, you can watch. And then they have some bonus content, I guess. And it's $20 a month. So I think I'm paying 10 for whatever the.
Okay, yeah, I saw the pricing today, and I was like, well, I saw the yearly pricing. It was $240. I was like, what the heck are we doing? But yeah, I guess $20 a month when you put it like that, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's like paying for Netflix or something. So if you are gonna watch it, it probably is worth it if you're gonna watch everything. But
see, here's the thing: I do not have 4.5 hours a day on a weekend to watch disc golf. So I'm like, I might as well just watch it post.
Yeah, I mean,
fair.
I'm mostly I like to watch the last round live if I can on Sundays, kind of afternoon, and then usually I just watch the highlights or Jomez the next day or whatever. Kind of catching up on it. So I'm curious. I don't know if it says how many people watched live, but I was a little confused because they had it on YouTube live.
The first round, right? They have second and third round too?
I think just the first round.
Yeah, just the first.
So it's man, people are paying $20 to get this bonus thing that you can get at least the first round live. It's just interesting.
Well, they did that last year, but they did the final round every time. You can watch.
I enjoyed that. Yeah. I don't think they'll do that. This year. There's certain
people that are not going to pay for live disc golf ever.
Yeah.
Wow. Big statement.
That is big.
But in terms of the tournament, itself, the course was interesting. Obviously, like we've seen that course before and throw down the mountain, but it's obviously Paul changed it up a lot. There's some really, really tough holes.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of complaining about some of the pars, but I think that's just kind of like the way that it is first year of a course. Like, I don't know really how you get away with that because you haven't had an entire pro field play the course yet. And so it's kind of tough to judge that. But obviously there'd probably be changes next year if they play there again.
Yeah. I personally like the layout of the throw down the mountain when it was designed that way. Like the flow of it looked good and like it was a fun course to watch. The only one I liked differently was that like 460-foot like canyon shot. I really enjoyed that hole. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I was like, you got to go for it. Like at that level, you cannot just throw down the bottom and throw up. Like you have to go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a difficult course. I mean, score wise, people were not scoring super, super high, which I like that personally. You know, you see that with, Northwood Black and stuff like that, where it's like there's a lot of like people that go a few under and then a lot of people that are over. So I personally like that style. I like that it was Florida and there was a lot of big throws, but it was still wooded and you had like that like Spanish moss. It looked really pretty. So for its first year on tour, I think it was pretty well made. Like Paul did a really good job at making sure everything was good to go. So yeah. I like it. There's a hole 8. I don't know if you saw this. This is oh gosh, what is his full name? Joseph Anderson. Joey Buckets is his nickname, which great nickname. Let's be honest. And this is what happened. The final round, hole 8.
Well, this is the time where we can see what he's made of. Is he ready to take that next step? This is looking so good, Paul.
Wow.
Hit the bit. No. That's not a commentator jinx. That's just the way it was. It looked great.
That is not a commentator jinx. That's insane. Dude, what do y'all think about that?
That just furthers the point that there should not be the hard plastic base covers. It should be the koozie style, like that it doesn't bounce off of like that. Because that happened to Macbeth a couple years ago, didn't it?
Yeah,
it bounced off those Roller
Jonesboro.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think there's no reason you couldn't get like a padded thing with advertisement. Like I don't really understand. Maybe it might cost more, but I think we've seen so many of these things, especially like final round, that actually make a difference. Because he went on to take the par, missed the putt. I mean, he went like 90 feet down the hill. So end up taking the par. That's a bummer. Like not getting rewarded for your shot, which is a part of disc golf here and there. But I mean, you saw Ricky have a couple bad spit outs and roll like 60 feet into the woods, which is pretty crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that's some of the green, but like you said, I mean, part of the, like if you had a flat green and the whole entire circle one was flat, then you wouldn't have that issue. And so I can see why they're like, we're not going to change everything based on the course, based on one or two courses or a couple holes or something like that. But honestly, like, okay, Vista in wherever
California.
that's at, in California, the elevated baskets, I don't know if they're still this way, but back in the day, they were just the poles,
just straight
like
poles.
just straight poles. And I don't mind it. I know they have to do advertising and stuff like that, but I mean,
yeah. They're still like that, aren't they?
I guess aesthetically, it doesn't look bad. If that's
aren't
what they're worried about.
Aren't they still just poles in the air? They don't have a base around them?
I think so.
Yeah.
I played there like a year and a half ago or something like that.
That's super unfortunate for Joey, though. Or Joseph, or whatever he goes by.
Yeah. It's his sophomore season. He had a pretty decent season last year. I never really heard of the guy, and I had to look him up because he was on coverage, and I was like, that's pretty sick. Pretty good young player. Honestly, he's sponsored by Casaplast, which is nice to see, like a different brand represented in the top 10, honestly. So
yeah. Well,
cool.
Even Yuli said it, like he's so like the form is just immaculate. It looks like he's not doing anything, and he's just working discs. Like he's mastered that like baby flip up game, both forehand and backhand, which is crazy. It's like he feels like a Kevin Jones type of player, but not as powerful, and like doesn't have like a crazy putt like Kevin does, and
Yeah.
so but like a little bit of a smoother Kevin Jones.
Like the opposite of Aaron Gossage. It's like super. Looks like he's
Yes.
putting everything into a disc.
Dude, we'll kind of get into that here in a second. I want to kind of go back real fast and go back to DGN just for a second. I watched a little bit of it. Like I was able to see snippets of it of that first day on YouTube. I like the format. I like what they did on there. And the one thing I was curious about is how without EU disc they would do some of their stats. And I actually really liked what they end up doing. They end up doing a Bushnell kind of rangefinder sponsor, but every single putt you could see exactly how far away it was. It wasn't like circle 1, circle 2, whatever. It was 35 feet, 45 feet, So
Right.
I really like that. I appreciate that. I think it was a nice touch. I think there's obviously from All-Star, there's a little rough. They had I think they had a 2-hour or hour and a half window where they went down during the second day. So I think those are just things they're going to figure out as
But
they.
that was across PDJ as a whole. So there was a tournament
Yeah.
in Shreveport happening that they weren't able to keep score for that hour and a half. So like the whole server went down, not just DGN.
Oh wow! See, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So I think it's obviously we're a very new sport, and this is. I'm not someone who likes to dog on DGN. I think it's easy to go there and pick the small things and go, why aren't they doing this better? It's like, dude, they're doing a great job for the money they have. Like, obviously, if they had unlimited budget, they could go in there with all this high quality things and make everything great.
Yeah.
But they don't have that, and so I think they do incredible for what they have. Personally,
Yeah, it's not TNT.
Did you ever hear
Right.
the horror stories of like back in the day before live it was a thing and YouTube was a thing to watch tournaments? You had to wait like 6 months and then go get it from a video store and like rent it on VHS and watch it there.
It's
You
crazy.
ever hear about that? Like the 1990s or whatever. That's what they did. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I could not imagine going and watching that.
yeah, that's
No
crazy. Actually,
Yeah, imagine like Climo's playing for his 10th Worlds, and you're just like, all right, let me wait a couple months, and then I'll find out if he won.
there's kind of something cool to that though. Like the word of mouth, like. You can like within a 2-month span, you're like, I don't know who won Worlds. Like who won Worlds? I mean, it wasn't
no
that
idea.
big of a sport, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
I don't know. But
It's like
I
all the
think they're
people
doing
who
a
knew
good
about it were
job.
there watching it.
Right, you go and travel and see it. So, but I think they're doing a good job, and I'm excited to see how they continue to make it better throughout this year. I don't know if you saw. I don't even know if we want to get into this, but definitely a tough split between them and UDisc. I've seen a couple interviews and. Seems like, I mean, to me, it seems like they just didn't want to use UDisc. And like UDisc was kind of waiting on them to see, hey, what are we going to do? But you got to think if you're, they're sponsored or they're partnered with PDGA. So it makes so much sense that they would go to PDGA Live and use that platform to keep scores and do all that, which there were definitely some issues with that I found, but I don't know. I know you guys said you kind of kept score. How did you like that, Corbin? Kind of watching scores live compared to UDisc?
I mean, I didn't really notice much of a difference.
Yeah.
I will say it's like I liked the convenience of going. I didn't use the app. You can use the app though, right?
Yeah, I use
Okay.
that.
I was stupid. I was going on Safari and searching it up. I was being dumb. But I guess if you use the app, I was gonna say like the convenience of going to an app and then just clicking on the link to the scores was really nice. But I guess I could also just do that with that PGA Live app. I kind of forgot I had it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really notice much of a difference. I think aesthetically it's a lot nicer.
Yeah.
The white and the green and the blue and everything is a lot better to look at than
Yeah. If
the
you don't know what that
black
looks
and
like.
orange.
It looks pretty great. Like you said, you weren't looking at this live.
No, I was looking at that live. Like I was
Okay.
following along on there. I just didn't go to DGN like the actual video part of
Gotcha.
stuff.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is I think they're gonna fix all the bugs with this, and it's gonna be incredible. I think in a few years it's gonna be like I think UDisc is gonna get into that realm of like everyday disc golfer. You know, that's kind of what they're wanting to do anyways. I think PDGA and the live is gonna be for tournaments and stuff. One thing I noticed though is sorry, you can go.
I was saying one thing I did like was you probably can't see it, but like the layout. Why is it
so bright?
Sorry. Like how they have it laid out, DGPT, A tier, B tier. Like you can find all the A tier, B tier tournaments a lot easier instead of having to search the exact name of it.
Right. I think it'll just take a second, for people to get used to it not being UDisc. You have those like UDisc fans that are going to be all about it. And I love UDisc. Like I love using it for my rounds personally. I don't know if PDGA Live is even going to go after like the everyday rounds type of players. I don't think that's what their goal is. But if they did, they probably would be able to do it the same. Or UDisc just has the advantage of having all the courses kind of locked and loaded. But the one thing I noticed that I don't like, that I think they should fix is you can't find the whole tournament stats. So you can only do it one round at a time. So when I go to an MPO player, I click on Ricky, I can only see what he did each round. I can't see the total event, which is kind of a bummer, like putting stats and all that. I mean, not that I ever look at that personally anyways, but for conversations like on a podcast, it'd be nice to go, okay, this is the stats, for the tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, let's move on to talking about FPO. I don't know if you guys caught up with FPO. I don't think we'll stay long on this because, to be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of FPO anyways. And so I thought it was interesting when I went to that third round and was looking, okay, who's in the lead? We saw a familiar face of someone who kind of chokes. Evelina Salonen won this tournament, which we won't say nicknames here. We won't do that. But she's a great player, great thrower, which I think matches this course really well. Any thoughts on the FPO finish?
Man, she was running away and you couldn't catch her. I mean, sorry.
We love FPO, guys.
Somebody should have told somebody. That's all I'm saying. You should have had a call. Call somebody and let them know.
I mean, I'm honestly on the FPO side. I am kind of a big fan of her as a player. I thought last year she was going to compete, kind of, but obviously Kristen kind of just defeated everybody, and I feel like she was kind of absent. But I think it's good to see her win one. I didn't pay too close attention. Was Kristen there?
No, she starts in Waco.
Okay, so so we'll see if Kristen does the same thing again this year, which probably. But it's good to see somebody else win something, and maybe she can compete this year.
One person I did see a lot from DGPT putting out on Instagram, Owen Scoggins. Like I know she used to be a really good player. She I think is lighting back up, and I think she's going to be somebody to watch out for on the FPO side this year.
She won a tournament last year. And she's just the best putter. I mean, she might be the best putter stats wise, MPO or FPO. I mean, she is so good. By far the best FPO putter. I mean, if you watch the All-Star, she dominated them. So that's kind of her niche. And she's definitely not a big thrower. She throws a lot of sidearms. Let me run through top 10 FPO, and then we can kind of talk about it. But Evelina Salonen, number 1. Ella Hansen, another big thrower, number 2. Missy Gannon, Money Missy, number 3. Holland Handley, number 4, or got tied for 3rd. Hannah Blomroos, Natalie Ryan, Stacy Ronsley, Owen Scoggins, Morgan Lenz, and Kat Murch. And then tied for 10th is Paige Pierce. which I thought was interesting, kind of looking at her
Mm.
tournament. So, any standouts there?
It stands out to me that Paige Pierce was barely top 10.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
going to
for
say
sure.
the same thing about Kat Mersch. I mean,
Yeah.
Kat Mersch doesn't have the reputation, and obviously it hasn't been as consistent. But I went to All Stars, not this past All Stars, but the one before, and she was my favorite FPO player to watch. Like as far as like form and like types of shots she could throw, she was just fun to watch. And you could tell that she was really good. Probably, I mean, she's definitely better than me. So, it's like,
Yeah.
I expect her to be more of a top 5 person rather than just a top 10 player. But it's first tournament of the year, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they lost by 19 strokes, her and Paige, to Evelina. So, which that just to me, I just am so used to old Paige Pierce, where it's like, obviously she's coming back from injury. She's coming back from a kind of a period where she wasn't playing. So I think definitely getting back in the swing of things. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to even see her and Paul. We'll talk about Paul in a second, but even see their names so low on this list is such an interesting, new dynamic that's happening in both of these fields. But obviously we have the Natalie Ryan situation. We won't go too far into that, mainly because whatever the rules are, she or she is applying by the rules. It is what it is. We don't have any say over that. Didn't even win. So I don't know what to say about that.
How many strokes was the difference there?
Total 10. So yeah.
Evelina just like cleaned house.
She won by 5 strokes to Ella. So, and the putting was looking good. She's kind of known for having those yips. If you saw Waco last year, that crazy, I wish I had the video.
Straight to the right.
The crazy putt. Yeah, it's wild. So I think getting a win, I mean, she's won before. She won at Waco 2021 or something like that. She's won before, but getting that win is big, is a big momentum thing. I think if she's going to compete, if anyone's going to compete with Kristen this year, it's going to have to be her or someone like Holland Hanley or Missy Gant, someone who's a consistently good thrower and then getting that putt dialed. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Anything else, FPO?
No more comments.
No more comments. For sure. Okay. Let's move on to MPO. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, go watch it because here is the winner.
Anthony, over a decade ago, I heard a rumor about an 11-year-old kid who could throw a mini 300 feet. And then over that decade, we heard stories of you breaking holes in half, winning distance competitions, pushing our imaginations as to what can even be done with a disc. And now here you are showing off the full package. Your first Elite Series win. How do you feel?
It's just unbelievable. I've been waiting my whole life for this, and all the losses are worth it now. This feeling's amazing.
So really cool. AB takes the win, his first Elite Series win. And you can tell, I mean, I was kind of surprised at how emotional he was there. When I was watching this live and I was just like, oh my gosh, like he's so emotional. Like I could tell that he kept going, talking about his family and friends and stuff that support him. And just a really cool moment, honestly, to see him take down a win, especially after last season, choking away the European Open, but big time.
Yeah, I think a lot of his thing is maturing and growing, like getting older. He's what, 19, 20 years old, maybe 21.
Oh, he's older than that. Yeah.
He's older.
He's got to be. He's definitely older than me.
He's still young, and he's still like learning when to play smart, when to play risky, like when to really kind of go after things. I think he's only going to go up from here.
He was born in 2000, so he's 24. So young. Oh my gosh.
We'll be 24.
700 feet.
Yeah,
that's wild.
I mean, I think there's something. I think when he switched to Discraft, he obviously knew that he needed something different to propel him to win Elite Series, win majors, and stuff like that. And I think it's definitely helped his game. Not saying that Innova doesn't make good disc or anything like that, or Discraft makes better discs, but I think there's something to be said about like the DNA of Discraft versus the DNA of Innova, and like making a change in your career can kind of push you to a different level, especially when you're that young. Like Simon doesn't really get pushed to a new level by switching to MVP, and Eagle probably won't get pushed to a whole new level by switching to MVP. But like when you're young, you've been throwing Innova for 4 or 5 years, and you're starting to get into the groove of your game where you're throwing farther than you've ever thrown and you're putting better than you've ever putted. It's like switching companies to a company that's known for a little bit more success, I guess, in recent times.
Yeah, and there's that confidence. Obviously when he first got on the scene, he was like Paul's little mini me. So that confidence of being with Paul, I think, and like Eagle kind of said this when he switched to MVP. He was like, it's just, the excitement of learning new discs, the excitement of doing something different. And Gannon even talked about that a little bit with Prodigy, kind of similar situation. Started as a kid with this company, moved to a different company. But man, AB winning, I think getting that kind of monkey off his back. I'm curious, and let me know how you feel. Do you feel like this could be the AB season? Like what we saw Calvin last year or Gannon last year, like taking down 3-4 events?
No.
Okay. What is that?
No, I mean,
you think it's like a one-hit wonder?
No, I mean, I definitely think he'll be a frequent top 10 guy. Like no doubt about that. Maybe even frequent top 5, but I think saying a frequent top 10 is being realistic. I don't like, if you had to ask me if he's going to win another Elite Series, I'd probably say no.
Wow.
Not saying that he couldn't win it,
statements.
But will he win it? I don't think so. I mean, you saw even he hit 18 under at like hole 12 and ended at 18 under while Ricky was chasing. Like, if Ricky didn't have the front 9 that he did in the final round, and there was a little bit more competition coming up from the back, especially at courses that have been on the Pro Tour for a while, I don't think that he holds up as well in those types of situations still. Could he do it? Yeah, for sure. But I don't really see it, especially with the amount of competition. I mean, Joseph Anderson's on lead card, and most people probably had never heard of him until they saw him on Jomez coverage this week. And just that fact alone, that like anybody can be in that top 4, kind of lowers your chances of winning anything. Yeah. Even if you're a Calvin Heimberg, like your chances of winning are lower this year than it were last year. And you're probably still going to win 3, So.
Blake, what do you think about that?
I don't know. Kind of like I agree a little bit and disagree. I think that why did my screen just go big?
I did that.
I don't like that. I feel like I was just talking to myself. So I think somebody take control away from this man.
I got you.
There we go. I think that this is the first tournament of the year. All Stars was not really like a warm up. It was kind of just have fun. This is the very first tournament. I think you're going to start seeing some of those more normal names come back. I don't think this is going to be a year where it's like, oh, it's all the new young guys. No, I think it's going to be some of those more normal names like will kick back up more frequent throughout the year.
Yeah. My thought is this. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. My thought is this. I'm starting to think I like Barella, to be honest with you. I think his game is insane. I actually think he's like very similar to what Eagle was before his injury. Best sidearm in the game right now, power sidearm. Incredible sidearm. It's crazy. Yeah. Dude can throw a mile. It's just the confidence and clutch moments that I'm curious about with him. And so I think if he can get some wins under his belt, it's kind of like Calvin back in the day. Like Calvin would get a win here and there, but then he's like, once you build that confidence, like, hey, I'm a winner. It's that like, okay, we can do this now. And so I'm very curious. I hope he does. And another thing with this is he's going to be good in the Open, obviously. But this year they cut a bunch of open courses and added a bunch of wooded courses. Let me walk through this and show you. Waco is kind of a mix, but a lot of woods. Open at Austin is relatively open. It's kind of same as Waco, open and wooded. Texas State Championships, I'm not sure about that. Jonesboro Open, that's someone he could win. The Music City Open, that's one. And then Dynamic Disc. So like beginning of the year, there's some open ones available. I don't know anything about the Copenhagen Open. I don't even know if he's going to that one. And then as we kind of get to the end of the season, I think he could win Portland. Beaver State Fling's very wooded. The Preserve's very open. But then as you kind of get to the end of the season, you have Ledgestone, which is all at Northwoods Black this year because it's all at Eureka this year. Sorry, Champions Cup is all at Northwoods Black. Idlewild, very wooded. Great Lakes is pretty open. The Green Mountain Championship, wooded. MVP, wooded. DGPT, wooded. There's a lot of wooded stuff on this tour, and so I'm curious to see if he can clutch up in the woods compared.
I know that he plays really well at Beaver State Fling, doesn't he? Like I think a few years ago he was always in the top like 5 or 6. So he might be really good there.
So I think for him, it's all going to be about his putt and his confidence. If he can do that, I don't think there's a reason why he couldn't be in the top 10 every week or win 2-3 Pro Tours this year. I think that's definitely possible. I would like to see him do well at the European Open this year, kind of get revenge on last year. So it'll be an interesting storyline with AB this year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like his game is pretty flawless almost. I mean, he can throw the farthest of anybody backhand and probably forehand too, and his putt is really, really good. So I also think this course suited him a lot.
Yeah.
Like pushing straight shots. Like if you can throw really far off the tee and really straight, you're going to be pretty successful at this course. I think something I'd like to see. I want to see him shape some shots. So I don't know what course really is coming up where you have to like shape shots. I guess Waco is one of them. Like that,
Waco.
The middle section of Waco will be interesting.
It'll also be the second part of Waco will be a golf course. So there's two different courses.
I forgot they opened that up this year.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then I could see him doing well at Preserve and probably Eureka too. Those are courses I could see him doing well at. But yeah, if I had to bet on if he's going to win another one, I would not put any money on it.
If he can slow down in the woods, because his run up is pretty quick most of the time. He's got a full, just fast throw. If he can just slow down and hit his lines and not worry so much about the distance, I think he'll do really well when it comes to the wooded holes.
Yeah. I'd be curious, man. I'm very interested. I mean, I think I like him getting this win to start the season and see what happens from there. It's like he has such a different personality. Not that he's like a villain or even like a bad boy or something like that, but he has that like weird mystique where it's like, I feel like either you love him or you don't like him. Like he's kind of like, he's one of those. And so I think it'd be curious how his fan base continues to grow. One of the best logos in the game by far, I think. So
yeah, he's definitely off of the Macbeth tree when it comes to personality.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you're like not like the most lovable guy ever, but maybe
on camera for sure.
But who knows?
I bet he's really fun off camera. The fact that he's friends with Adam Hammonds tells us a lot.
It's true. It's true. Okay, let me read through the top 10 of MPO, and we can kind of talk about some of these players. And then after that, I want to do like, who are some disappointing players in this tournament? So we went AB number 1. He had 18 down. Ricky Wysocki was 17 down. Almost caught him. The second to our whole 17 tripped AB up, and Ricky got really close, which I thought was very interesting.
Do you think that that's a sign that Rick, like, because that's the best Ricky's looked in a long time?
Dude,
he's been out of it for quite some time.
Yeah, I hope the injury's kind of over. I mean, it's it's hard because it's Lyme disease, so who knows?
Yeah.
But like even last year, like he had a good season for he had a good season for other people, just not for Ricky.
Right.
And so I'll be curious if he can stay healthy.
That's tough when you go 5 or 6 years where you and one other person are the top two people, and all eyes are on you.
Yeah. I mean, Ricky's putting was incredible. He had some bad breaks. Like he took a double bogey. He had multiple double bogeys that were like rim outs or cage and rolls. I'm like, if he doesn't do that, like he's putting at least more pressure on AB. I mean, it was technically a 2-stroke game because AB laid up the last putt. So, I mean, I like Ricky's chances. He's definitely winning a tournament this year, for sure. I like his chances. Like I said, a lot of wooded, which he's so good at. It'll be great to see him. Third, we got Aaron Gossage. Fourth, Gannon Burr. Fifth, Kyle Klein. Sixth, Isaac Robinson. Isaac Robinson.
1,
2, 3.
Isaac Robinson.
Tie with delay. Tie with 6 is Matty O. Let's go. Tie with 6.
Consistent.
Gavin Rathbun. Clutch. Ninth, Jesse Niemanen. I don't know how to say that. Never heard of him.
Niemanen.
Nanamanen. Do, 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 do.
Niemanen.
And then Nicholas Antela, Joseph Anderson, Joey Buckets, and then Gavin Babcock. Any highlights here you want to talk about?
Bro, first off, that Discmania had 3 of their young guns in the top 15.
Yeah.
Right, because they had
top
Gannon,
10.
Nicholas. No, 4. Gannon, Nicholas, Isaac, or not Isaac. It was Gavin and Kyle.
Gavin
Discmania is on something.
Was technically 12th.
Oh.
So, sorry, I said his name, but he was 12th.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he played really well. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Big.
The future of Discmania is bright.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say a surprise, Gavin Rathbun, but not really surprising. I know that he's kind of really good. Somebody told me that he wasn't touring this year. Crazy people.
I swear he was. He said he wasn't touring.
I think you actually told yourself because you were looking him up to see, and you're like, no, he's not touring.
I will find this and post this somewhere, but I swear he was not touring this year.
Because he would have definitely been on my fantasy team, but it's okay. Gavin Rathbun, I know he's good, so it's not very surprising. First term of the year, I guess. I mean, Joey Anderson, obviously, big surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
Niemanen.
Clutch. I mean, Joey he's even talked about how he was so nervous to be on coverage. I think more experience like that. I think that for the next few years, we're gonna get these young guns continuing to kind of scratch that top 10 and get into that top 10. And I think we're gonna see a lot of new faces, kind of like last year where we had a lot of people pop up. We're gonna see a lot of new faces. In
the one person you won't kick out is Matteo. Matteo is the most consistent top 10, top 20 player out there.
He is. He
always.
just. I don't know what his deal is. He just creeps in there always.
Yeah, and he's been playing since the 90s. Just,
dude, I'm willing to say this: if Aaron Gossage could putt, he would be the best in the world. He sucks at putting, legit. It's pressure putts. He always goes short. I'm like, dude, if you're watching this, which is would be incredible. I don't know. You guys think that? I mean, his sidearm's incredible. His backhand's incredible. He's very, very fast-paced player. But
I mean, in my mind, there's absolutely no way he'd be the best player in the world. But
I'm saying he could be.
He'd definitely be challenging for some wins.
Yeah. I'm just looking at his putting.
His putting was atrocious. I will say that. That's very true.
And he lost. Yeah, he lost by 2 strokes and had a terrible putting performance. So one of those things, I think it's just if he could like kind of like AB, if he could lock in and make some of those clutch putts, he's right there. So
yeah, I mean, I think Isaac was shocking to me that he made the top 10. Only not because he's not good, because he's one of the best players in the world, but
world champ.
His first round was very mediocre. He was down with Paul and Simon and them after round 1, and I was like, what is going on with all them? And then I look round 2, and he just popped up close to the top, and then fought his way into the top 10 in the final round. So that was a little bit surprising. And then Kyle missed one circle one putt the whole tournament.
Yeah, insane performance. When I was watching this, I was like, his one of the smoothest forms. It's such a unique form, but man, I like watching him throw a disc. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, he putted so well that it kind of overshadowed the rest of his play. Like he was missing some lines. He took
4 bogeys on the last round.
Yeah, he was a couple inches off here and there. I mean, in the final round for sure, he looked kind of out of sorts. Second round a little bit, but I think that's stuff that kind of gets dialed in as you keep going through the season. But having your putt dialed first tournament of the year is pretty promising.
Yeah, for him. It's pretty crazy. What do you think about Gannon? First round or first tournament with Discmania popping off, getting in that top
Future's
5.
Bright. Future is bright.
Yeah.
He's finally got some good disc and not trash plastic.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's actually crazy. That's wild.
Bro,
it's not good. It's not good
better.
plastic. It's not good plastic. It's just what everyone else uses because it's literally Trilogy.
Wait, what?
It's the same plastic, bro. House of Disc. They just be using the same plastic. We all know it.
Prodigy is terrible.
It's very interesting. You see that like almost his whole bag is old Discmania. Like Innova made? No, his. Gannon's.
Well, yours too, yeah.
Mine, for the most part, is I think there's like one disc. I think there's a zone in there.
I just think it's interesting, like that Discmania is letting him like throw all old plastic, since he's not going to be promoting all these amazing new discs they have. He's throwing like Innova made MD3s, and I'm like, bro, I don't know. It's very interesting.
Well, here's the thing that is iffy about the whole Discmania situation is a lot of their Innova made discs are better flying discs than their newer discs. The plastic's better. The newer plastic is better than the old plastic. But the discs, and especially the selection of discs, and also everybody likes worn-in discs.
Yeah, I just think profit-wise, like he did the same thing with Prodigy. It's like he like promoted the FX3 like a few times, but everything else was like Bowling Green DD or D3, and like that doesn't make your company money when you do that, you know. So I hope he finds, you know, I'm excited to see what his creator series will be. I think that will help him kind of sell some discs, but he's definitely going to be up there. I'm curious, what do you think, Gannon or Kyle? Who's going to be the face? Maybe not the face is the wrong word, but who's going to be the best Discmania player this year?
I mean, I'm biased.
You like Gannon, don't you?
I'm a little biased, so I have to say Kyle.
Bro, you're so bi.
What?
Bias.
Okay. Yeah, biased. Yeah, I have to say Kyle. I think I don't know. There's something about Gannon I just don't. I don't know. I don't like Gannon, but
you can say it right here. Make a statement.
Well, I feel like Gannon reminds me a lot of Ricky.
I like that comparison, actually.
Personality-wise, reminds me a lot of Ricky. And I mean, I know Ricky's been dealing with health stuff over the past few years, but like we saw Ricky at his best, and we've seen Ricky at like it's just Ricky Wysocki. He has the occasional pop off, but I think Kyle's just a really, really consistent player, and it's kind of hard to battle that. Especially, I mean, I keep bringing up the putting, but again, it's just one tournament, but Kyle is one of the better putters on the tour, so
yeah, it'll be curious. I think. What do you think, Blake? Kind of that combo between Blake and between you and Gannon.
You and Gannon.
We're the same. We throw the same. We putt the same. All this stuff. I don't know. I don't. If as far as Discmania is concerned, Discmania has never been like a one-person company. They've never put all their profits in. Now it's been two people, like Simon and Eagle. I think that partnership, that duo, is really what works best for them. And a lot of their media stuff, a lot of their promo stuff, it's all like, hey, here's our top two people. Here's how to throw it differently. So I think that's going to kind of be the same with Kyle and Gannon. I don't think they're going to be like one's going to be better than the other. Obviously, I think Eagle was better than Simon when it came to tournament wise, just because Simon was always the let's have fun. Like if I'm not having fun, I don't want to do it. He's changed a little bit, since he's gotten older. He can't throw as far, so he's had to be smarter. But I think that I think it's always going to be they're going to be right up against each other, same level of competition.
Yeah, Gannon to me is like, and you saw this last year. He would be inconsistent when he wasn't in the, and he even says this when he's not in after the first round. If he's not close, he like is so discouraged that he like just plays terrible. And so, and where Kyle can kind of like crawl his way back in, which is a little bit of the maturity side of disc golf, I think, of like, hey, you're still in it, consistency. Yeah. Gannon's like, if I don't win, I don't care, that type of vibe, which is very like Ricky and Paul used to be, I feel like. So yeah, I think it'll be something to look out on. Maybe we'll keep a little tracker throughout this season of the Discmania battle.
Yeah, and I don't want everybody to forget about Nicholas either. I mean,
yeah,
little sneaky top 10 boy in this tournament.
Nicholas is super underrated.
Just so, I mean,
so
I feel
cute.
Like, he actually
cool.
Is low-key.
Cool.
Wait, yeah, cool and cute. All right, next.
Anyways, so that's the top 10 right there. Pretty cool. Great. I think it was a great event overall. We already talked about the course itself. I think definitely we'll keep growing and keep.
What about Paul McBeth finishing in like? I don't even think he hit cash.
Okay, let's do some lowlights. Who are some lowlights for you?
This McBeth didn't even hit cash.
Did he not cash?
I don't think so. Am I wrong in that?
Kind of crazy.
I gotta look at this. I think he did cash. I think he cashed.
If he cashed, he was way down at the bottom.
Oh, he didn't.
He did not.
Wow.
Tied 52nd.
Paul.
Yeah, cash was 45, wasn't it?
Yeah, 45. Wow, that's crazy. His own course. Yikes.
He tied with an 18-year-old. Wow.
To be fair, he's still dealing with this injury, coming off this injury.
True.
I could see Paul coming back to play this course like 60% just because it's his course. I could see that.
He might have been distracted because he was helping run the tournament, wasn't he? Did he have his hand in that? With it being his course? Or no?
I don't think he was. I mean, obviously there's a tournament director there, but I don't know if. I mean, obviously when it's your course, even the weeks before, you're making sure it looks good, all of that. So he was busy. Yeah, I think the course director or the tournament director was I know the person who helped make the course was what's that dude from Foundation?
The White Sox?
No, I mean Dylan Cease owns it. Man, what's the guy that like is obsessed with Paul?
He's what?
He's like he's on that podcast, the Nick and
Carter.
Matt show. Nick Carl.
No,
Nick Carl.
Yeah,
Nick Carl. He was like helping. He was like helping run.
Yeah, Nick Carl and the other guy, the other guy that is always with Nick Carl.
Yeah, Nick Carl and the other guy that was always with Nick Carl. They were there.
Jeff Corns.
Corny.
Jeff Corns.
Did you see him hand the trip? Why is Jeff Corns at every whoever's winning? He's like right there, like their best friends. Every single tournament he is, and he's always in those tight shirts. Just every tournament.
Someone notices Jeff.
Well, I don't want to I don't want to diss on this guy, but 107th place,
Brody Smith. How
I mean, he got
how
beat
many
by
players
Zach
were there?
Melton.
there was 112 players, and one was a DNF.
Okay.
He got beat
Wow.
by Zach
Tipped and
Melton, and
DNF.
Zach Melton.
He shot a plus 19.
What was
That's
the
kind of
ratings on that?
crazy.
He averaged 979 for the event.
Yikes. I mean,
That's who he is. I mean, it's not like he's a top 10 player.
I heard a lot of talk about him being a dark horse, no pun intended, this year. And that just got totally slammed to the ground off of this tournament.
Another
For sure.
person, Ezra Aderhold,
Yeah,
70th.
so that finished low.
That's a pretty surprising finish for
I
him.
mean, obviously, Calvin Heimberg broke his top 10 streak that he was on.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. What's surprising is this course suits him so well. Like a big,
It
really
really does.
straight, far throws. So
it really does.
very surprising there by him.
He broke it strong too at 34th. He didn't finish like top 15.
Yeah.
He was like way down there.
There's a lot of people. I mean, obviously, you have like one of the best in the
Okay,
nation,
let me
Kevin
ask you this.
Jones.
So Calvin Heimberg being from Florida, do you think that he felt a little like home field pressure? Like he had to show up because it was his home state?
He's too good for that now.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see his rounds.
I don't know. I feel like once you hit a certain level in a sport, that stuff goes away.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just what I feel. I've never played a professional sport, so I don't know.
He averaged 10. He averaged 10.22. I don't know. I think he just probably had a bad round, a bad showing. He did decent at All-Star here, and it was in the rain. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see at Waco. It's not really a great course for him either, Waco. But we'll see with the added course there on the golf course how that will play out for him. So definitely a lot of people that are surprises. James Proctor's down there. Chris Dickerson. It's not really that surprising anymore, but one surprise was Cale LaVisca was like in the top 10 after round one. I was like, dang, bro, my guy. And then he finished it off with in the middle was a +3. So
Pretty surprised about Nico Castro being in the top 20.
He's him. What do you mean?
Just his game is not very like, I don't know. He just hadn't been there for about 6 months, 8 months.
Sure.
Matt Bell, the GOAT.
One of the best putters. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how this year plays out. That was a great kind of starting tournament, I think, to kind of see some disc golf again. So I love it.
Yeah.
I want to end by kind of going through our Waco predictions. Who you got winning? I mean, female. Does anyone want to go against Kristen or what?
Evelyn.
Give me Evelyn.
Kristen could beat me up, so
She shows up at Waco.
You know what? Give me Missy Gannon.
I think Missy's good at Waco.
I like Missy there at that course.
you're doing a Skip Bayless right now. It's crazy.
Give me Iguodala.
Max Kellerman.
I just think if anyone's going to do it, I think Missy has a good chance at that course. She's a good, consistent player. Throws a lot of lines. I think she could do it. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Maybe Kristen comes in with a little slow compared to these other people have a whole tournament under their belt already. So
Yeah, true.
who knows? What about male MPO? Give me some predictions, maybe.
I think Simon's going to pop off.
Ooh,
That's bold.
He is.
That's
I
bold.
think he is. I think he's going to do
All
real
right.
good.
Here's my top
Did he
three.
play Lincoln?
No order. No specific order for these top three. But this is gonna be the top three. Kyle Klein. Isaac Robinson. And I'm gonna say Ricky.
Yeah.
Kyle, Isaac, and Ricky top 3. I don't know what order, but they're gonna be there.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Calvin. I think Calvin's gonna get it. I think this golf course is really suited. I've seen some of the clips of it. It's really suited for his game. So if he can kind of get back on track, I think he has a good chance. And then Ricky would be like my second. I think Ricky plays really good open and wooded. And it seems like he's kind of back a little bit. He played really well. So we'll see. We'll see between those guys. I think it'll be quite the challenge.
Question. Last question. Do you think Macbeth will have 2 tournaments that he's not in the cash?
No, he'll cash at Waco if he plays. I think.
Yeah, he'll definitely cash at Waco. I think top 20. Top 20 for
Top
sure.
20. I like it. I like that call. All right, let's go. We're doing a fantasy league. I want to kind of walk. I don't want to walk through all of it. I just want to kind of do an update. Who's in the lead? Who's doing what? Well, let's just do us 3. There's more people in our league, but how did our week look this week? So, I had 10 points. I have Calvin, Kevin, AB, Ezra Robinson, which he also slacked off. I was like, bro. And then James Robinson, who didn't make cash. So AB carried, got me majority of my points. And so that's really what my layout is. 10 points. What y'all got?
Go ahead.
I had everybody get points except for Ben Calloway. Don't know what happened to him. He's usually a consistent.
Could have told you that. I could have told you that, buddy.
He's usually consistent cat.
I'm just kidding.
And then I had Coriolis and Emerson both not play, so I didn't put them in. Had them on my bench. I expected more from Silas because he loves Florida. He usually plays well in Florida, but he did not. I think the tournament pressure of being at that stage maybe got to him a little bit. He's still learning how to adapt to those things. So,
cool.
Well, I'm in second place after week 1, only second to Zach Artis, who's not here, but I had Isaac, Kyle, and Nicholas all in the top 10. I had Chris Dickerson, who cashed, and Bradley Williams, who cracked top 20. So,
yeah,
pretty good week for me. All 5 of my starters were all 5 of my starters cashed. I had 4 in the top 20 and 3 in the top 10. So
sick. We will keep you updated on that. I think that'll be an interesting series throughout this whole year. We'll see who wins it all at the end of the year. But I think that's going to be it for our first ever show. I think it's been a pretty good show. What do y'all think? Y'all like it? Y'all vibing?
Fantastic. I'm vibing.
Go follow us. SmackDown.
Hey, that's a good thought. Before we get there, we have a 500 subscriber giveaway that we're doing.
500.
You can win 10 brand new discs. We have had a bunch of people already do this, but all you have to do is go to our Instagram, share our post, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel. When we hit 500, we will do our giveaway. So make sure you do that. You have to tag 3 people in the comments of our post. Do it. Yeah, right there. Go follow us on Instagram. We want to give these discs away. I'll tell you this. I have 2 sponsors already that are helping us with this. My sponsor, Prodigy, is sending us some discs, some of the best plastic in the world. What'd you say?
He said RIP is pointing to Logan.
RIP Logan. Prodigy is going to send us some discs, and Hooligan Discs is sending us some discs for this box. So it's going to be a great box. Make sure you follow us, do all those things, because you want a chance to win this. 500 subs. Thank you guys so much for that. Other than that, I think that's it. We're going to sign off, and make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do all the things, and we will catch you next time on Mactown Disc Golf. Bye-bye.